I have two story times in this video. One you may have already heard, but I had to take it down and re upload it. She does have a GoFundMe page because on the other post in the comment section, people were saying that they would donate to her. So the GoFundMe information will be there. I also have another story time. A friend is writing me wondering what her friend should do in this situation. The friend knows that she is writing in to us to say what should she do. So, two different story times. So, stick through to the end. Let me know what you think of all this and here goes the videos. I was sent this email a couple of days ago, and I actually talked about it a couple of days ago. This lady had been fired from her job, and once she told her lawyer that I made a video about it, the lawyer asked that I pull the video down, which I did. In the comments section, and the lady who sent me this email, she was so appreciative of everybody's warm wishes because she has no one to talk to. So I'm just putting it out there that these are real people and they are reading the comments. I'm going to do this again. This lady does have a GoFundMe. People were saying, is there a GoFundMe? There is a GoFundMe. So here's the post. Where to begin? Sometime in January, I was approached by a coworker, D, in the yard. The yard is a place where truck drivers come to load and unload their product. My job as the account manager, CSR, is to receive product and get shipments ready to go out. D's position intertwines with my position. D is the yard jockey. He moves trailers in and out of the doors when I need to preload trailers for the week. On this particular day, D and I had a disagreement about how he handles our truck drivers. He is flat out racist to them. He calls them wetbacks. He calls the blacks are N-words, etc. I reminded D that this is not how we treat people. D is from New York. He is not familiar with how we do things in Texas. He approached me and got into my face, nose to nose, and told me I don't run, that this was his yard, and continued to spew racist remarks towards me. I did inform HR. We sat down. They said they would use this as a teaching moment, and nothing else happened. D continued to undermine me and treat me like crap. Fast forward to February 18th. I always put my lunch in the cooler at work. My days are very busy at work, so my lunchtime can vary. I walked into the break room to grab my lunch, and it was not there. I asked everyone in the break room, did they see my lunch? And they said no. However, my salad dressing was in a Cheez-Its box with the cap missing. I was then told my food had fallen out of this big industrial-sized refrigerator, and D had cleaned up the mess. Well, I was just curious to know where the rest of my food was, so I asked over the radio what happened. There was static, so David came into my office to speak with me. He said it was an accident. He said it happened about 8 that morning. I asked him why I was not told. He said he didn't know who the food belonged to. I asked him why did he throw away all of my food. My food was in containers, so if the food had fallen with the salad dressing, the food was protected. At this time, I could clearly see D was becoming upset. I told him not to worry about it. I wouldn't eat today. It was fine. He walked away, and I thought everything was fine. 5 minutes later, D came bursting through the door, cursing and yelling at me. He called me everything but a child of God. He said he was tired of my black women don't rush. We're all N-words who think we're important. He tried to come through my office, but it was locked. So he started to climb through the glass window, throwing anything he could find at me. Locks, metal bottles, a water fountain, and air fresheners. I was hurt. I cried and proceeded to call the police. A male manager did hear what was going on and rushed to push him out of the building, but the damage was done. When the police arrived, D was gone. They did obtain the video footage and issue a warrant for his arrest. He turned himself in Wednesday. He just made bail Monday. February 20th, 2025, I was placed on unpaid administrative leave. D said her company, this is the company that I blanked out here. The company said they needed to investigate and I will be notified of the outcome. Of course I'm fired. She's actually been fired. It's been confirmed. I am a liability at this point. I have a police report. To make things worse, this is a safety violation. What do I mean by a safety violation? Well, I work in a male-dominated industry. My office is located in a secluded part of the warehouse. I am alone with no security, and everyone has access to me and my office. I was approached by my GM a few weeks ago. He told me they were working with contraction crew to change the window and add keycard locks to my door because they were worried about this particular thing happening. They thought a truck driver would harm me or hurt me, so they wanted to make the windows like bank windows. Bulletproof glass with a small opening at the bottom. Well, what they tried to prevent happened. So I have hired a lawyer and we're fighting to get this story out. They're not making it easy to access their legal team. I need help. Please help me tell my story. I'm sorry if my story is all over the place. I'm crying as I write this. Things are crazy right now and I have no one to talk to. Thank you for listening. So, like I said, she was really happy that I started putting this story out for her. But I just, like I said, I had to take the story down. She was so appreciative of everyone's comments. Now, there was a comment where this woman was like saying, this is the reason why we just need to go to work and, just stay away from all this stuff. Jay said she does just go to work and do her job. This particular individual was in her face. She wasn't being antagonizing, but she has to work with people. Like I said, she has officially been fired. The good thing is, initially they got video footage, so they are all and the police officer that came was a woman, and she said that the police are working with her. So the company is going to have to play ball eventually, even if they are ignoring them right now. Here's her GoFundMe. People were asking if she had a GoFundMe. I asked her to make a GoFundMe. It's kind of wild that her goal is 400. I think we could get her to her goal of 400 if people just give $2 or $3 or $5. Anybody that watches this video, if you could just give this woman $5. I haven't yet donated, and I surely will donate before the end of the day. I'm going to put my money in because I believe that this woman definitely deserves some support. So here's her GoFundMe. If you're on my TikTok page, here's her GoFundMe. If you're on my YouTube page, I'll include the link. She says, "Dear friends, family, and kind strangers, I'm reaching out with a heavy heart and an open mind, seeking your support during a challenging time in my life. Recently, I was unexpectedly fired from my job under circumstances that have left me devastated and struggling. I want to share my story in hopes of shedding light on my situation and finding the support I need to get back on my feet." And then she starts talking about the exact same story that I just read. Like I said, $400 is very low. You could tell that she just wants some money, maybe for some groceries or something. She does have a 2-year-old child that she's had to pull out of daycare because she just can't afford it. This woman was fired because she was assaulted. So let's see if we can rally around her and get her some donations. All right, y'all, join the conversation. Let me know what you think about all of this. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. I got another email with a story time to share. This woman is actually a friend of somebody that's in a situation. And I'm like, your friend knows that I'm going to put this on video and she wants me to? And she says yes, because she wants all of our perspective. She says, here's her story, which I had written on another forum. My friend has viewpoints we all have about men, i.e. men don't behave properly and mistreat women the majority of the time. And when she says the viewpoints we all have, meaning in the bourbon bougie community. She says she has her own TikTok profile and makes videos discussing her views on men. She's currently living at home and is from a culture where you don't leave home unless you're leaving to be near a job, you get your own place, or if you get married. She's on the fence about getting married and is in a job right now while hunting for another job. She's from a well-to-do family who recently bought a new home, so leaving home wasn't something she was considering just yet. She works in marketing and has been finding it very hard to get another role for a long time, so she sadly had to take lower paid jobs. A family friend, a lady, told her mom of a graduate program in baking that was opening up that she should apply for. Her parents and brother all pushed her to apply for it and were annoyed with her for not being excited at the opportunity. She told me she started the application but didn't finish it because she didn't want to apply but was considering it since she wasn't finding other opportunities. By the time she went to click on the submit button, her submission didn't go through because the deadline had passed. She made the mistake of lying to her family that she had applied, only for the family friend to call her parents and say that she, the family friend, inquired about the application with HR and was told that they don't have an application for her. She came clean after the ladies' call and told everyone she didn't want to apply and got a dressing down about how she's picky about jobs when she doesn't have a good one and doesn't have any options at the moment. My friend is very introverted and tends to keep her feelings to herself, including keeping her fears, troubles, or feelings she has about people who've wronged her to herself. This was spoken about today by her family, calling her deep or not open and seemingly sociopathic. My friend is also quite stubborn, which everyone can be, and this was talked about today. My friend's brother then told her in front of her parents that he's seen her TikTok videos and that he'll stop having a relationship with her if she doesn't delete the videos. He said that he's shocked that she seems to hate men given the fact that she has him as a brother and their dad who, by and large, behave well, although she has had her issues with them as they too, for as good as they are, do things that are misogynistic. She doesn't talk about hating men, only about the ways men behave and what behaviors women should look out for. I remember her telling me that her dad was talking to her months ago about how he feels her social media usage is high, and mentioned that he knows that she watches YouTube and TikTok videos about women who talk about men and the patriarchy, and she should stop doing so. I remember her wondering how he knew and how shocked she felt because it was like she was being watched or stalked online without her knowing, only to find out that her brother had heard her watching these videos and told her parents. Her parents are angry with her for lying about not applying for this role and other things they think she can improve on. And her brother has told her that he doesn't want to talk to her and is considering stopping talking to her because of this lie. Her tendency to keep things to herself, which she tells me she does because when she brings them up, she gets shut down in the videos she watches and makes. She feels mentally drained and isolated. I spent some time encouraging her on the phone, but she had to drop off quickly because she was afraid of them hearing her tell me what happened, which would be seen as another problem, as her family would be upset that she's telling an outsider about family issues. This situation reminds me of the importance of living on your own because she now feels hostility from everyone. This scenario, coupled with the fact that she's been made to feel like a failure for still living at home and not having a better job, makes her regret not living on her own. Her parents comment about and basically compare her to other people's children that are getting married, starting businesses, and having jobs, which she says puts pressure on her to get her own place, which is hard to do with how bad the economy she's in. While she understands why her parents are angry and worried about her not getting a better job and lying, she's particularly shocked at the fact that her social media usage is being monitored, and her brother is angry about the things she says about men, which are all true. She's told me that she's had several discussions with her brother about men's behaviors, which he'll denounce in one breath, but he gets defensive the more she talks about men and their continuous bad behavior, including the fact that she's on the fence about marriage and children. He's convinced she hates men and is angry with her for having a view about all men being bad. He's also in the not all men camp. He also feels that since she's very much a homebody, never had a boyfriend, and doesn't date because she's wary of men, that she has no basis to say what she thinks about men, which she finds very condescending, especially as she's older than him and isn't some hermit crab. She reads, talks to her friends about men, has heard other women's experiences with men, watches things, and has tried dating in the past, which left her ghosted and mistreated by men. And now, here's the question she has for us. What should she do? Should she delete her TikTok page? After all of that, that is the question that they want us to hammer out. The lady that sent me this, I sent a message back like, how old is she and what is the culture, if you don't mind? So the woman that we're talking about right now with the TikTok, she's 30 years old and Nigerian. And we already see that she's talked about she can't afford to leave home just yet. So what I think is she is going to have to make a plan. She's going to have to kind of get along with this family until she can get away. They're making it hostile to live there right now. So what more can she do? This is like being in one of those relationships where you know that you need to plan an exit, but what do? At least she doesn't have kids though. She only needs to move for herself, but she still does need to game plan. It does kind of suck that they want her to get rid of her TikTok page, and she might have to make everything private. Just make everything private for right now, just to get by, just to, decrease the hostility and the pressure from the family for right now. Don't delete it completely because that would be crazy to have to rebuild it all up. Just do it enough to the point where daddy doesn't know, brother doesn't know, and put on some earbuds when you're listening to your YouTube videos or whatnot. That's what I think. And then in that extra time, just be putting in application, and start saving. She's still working. She works right now. So save as much as she can, create a game plan, and get away. Once she's away, she can do what she wants. But as long as she's in somebody else's house, she has to tiptoe and walk on eggshells. So that is what I think. I don't think she should delete her TikTok page altogether because it sucks to have to rebuild a TikTok page. But she can make things private. And I know that her brother knows her TikTok name, so maybe change the name for a little while until she can, make sure she is out of their, sites or whatnot. So that's what I think. You jump in the conversation, let me know what you think, and let's see if we can get her a game plan to execute and get away from these folks. Join the conversation, let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.